6 brutal exercises that nobody tries but that burn fat in a way that will surprise you. These are not gimmicky exercises or anything that requires expensive equipment. They are movements that most people ignore because they seem too simple or because they lack that gym glamour. But the results they deliver put every treadmill in the world to shame. Before we get started, please drop your name and the city you are watching from in the comments. We would love to know. Exercise number 1. Box jump. Most people who want to burn fat do the same thing. They get on the treadmill, stare at the clock, and suffer for an hour. In the end, they burned around 300 calories, about the same as a slice of pie. Honestly, that is disappointing. The point is that long, monotonous cardio burns calories in the moment, but it does not change your base metabolism. Certain high-demand exercises, on the other hand, do something different. As you build muscle, you are essentially installing a machine that works for you. Muscle at rest burns energy. It is literally your body's passive income. You train once and keep burning fat for hours afterward while sleeping, sitting, doing nothing. This phenomenon has a name, the epoch effect. And the exercises that activate this effect the most are exactly the ones most people ignore. That is why today you will see 6 movements that burn fat in a way no treadmill in the world can replicate. The box jump originated from plyometric training, originally developed by Eastern European athletes in the 1970s to maximize explosive power. Today it is widely used in CrossFit, functional training, and physical preparation for high-level athletes. But what few people realize is that it is not just for athletes. It is for anyone who wants to burn fat for real. The mechanism is simple and brutal at the same time. When you jump onto a box, your body recruits virtually every muscle in the lower body at once. Quads, hamstrings, glutes, and calves, all firing simultaneously. This creates an enormous metabolic demand in very little time. And after you finish the set, your body keeps working to restore physiological balance. That is where the epoch effect kicks in hard. To execute correctly, stand about 12 inches from the box. Bend your knees slightly, swing your arms back, and drive your body forward and upward at the same time. Land on the box with both feet simultaneously in a slight squat position, knees aligned with your feet. Never land on your toes. The contact should be soft, absorbing the impact. To get down, use the step or carefully step back down off the box. Do not jump straight back to the floor as that puts unnecessary stress on the knees. A very common mistake is looking down during the jump. This breaks spinal alignment and compromises the efficiency of the movement. Always look forward, toward the box. For beginners, I recommend starting with a box 8 to 12 inches tall and performing 2 sets of 6 to 8 repetitions. Over time, increase the height to 16 to 20 inches and progress to 3 sets of 10 repetitions. Contraindications. People with knee, ankle, or hip problems should avoid this exercise until cleared by a medical professional. Those with dizziness or balance difficulties should also take extra care. Exercise number 2, mountain climbers. If you had to choose a single exercise that does everything at once, mountain climbers would be a very strong candidate. They work the core, shoulders, quads, glutes, and also raise your heart rate quickly. It is cardio and strength in a single movement. And the best part, you need absolutely nothing to do it. A flat floor is all it takes. The starting position is the same as a plank. Hands on the floor at shoulder width, body straight from head to heel, core braced. From there, you alternate driving your knees toward your chest at a fast pace, as if you were running on an inclined surface. Simple in theory, exhausting in practice. What makes this exercise particularly valuable is the combination of core stabilization with dynamic movement. While the lower body is in motion, the trunk muscles work isometrically to keep the body stable. This means you are building functional strength while burning fat. And by activating both the muscular and cardiovascular systems at the same time, mountain climbers generate a metabolic effect that extends for hours after the workout. Regular practitioners report significant improvement in overall endurance within just a few weeks of consistent practice. To execute with quality, keep your hips level with your shoulders, neither rising nor sinking. Your arms should remain locked out, elbows slightly bent. Your neck should be in a neutral position, gaze directed slightly forward toward the floor. Breathe in a controlled manner, exhaling every 2 movement cycles. One mistake I see a lot of people make is letting their hips rise too high to make the movement easier. This takes the load off the core and turns the exercise into something far easier than it should be. Keep the alignment. For beginners, start with 30 seconds of work and 30 seconds of rest, repeating for 3 to 4 sets. As you progress, increase to 60 seconds of work and reduce rest to 15 seconds. Contraindications. People with wrist or shoulder pain should pay attention to hand position. Using dumbbells on the floor as a base can help keep the wrist in a neutral position and relieve discomfort. Before we continue, if you're over 50, take a look at this statistic. According to the WHO, between 28 and 35% of people over 65 suffer at least one fall each year. More than 70% of these falls happen inside the home. And today, falls are the leading cause of loss of independence among older adults worldwide. Many people blame it on bad luck, but in reality, it comes down to a lack of strength, balance, mobility, and physical preparedness. That's why our team created Biological Armor, a complete protocol for people in their 50s, 60s, or 70s who want to make sure they never go through that. Inside the protocol, you'll get a special home exercise program designed to build functional strength, real balance, and reverse years of poor posture and physical neglect without damaging your joints. You'll also learn the habits scientists have identified as common among the populations with the highest life expectancy in the world, habits that less than 1% of the Western population actually practices. Access it now by clicking the pinned link in the first comment of this video, or by pointing your phone's camera at the code appearing on the screen. Exercise number 3, Farmer's Carry. The name can be deceiving. It sounds too simple to be effective. But the Farmer's Carry is one of the most complete exercises in existence, used by everyone from Olympic weightlifters to military personnel in field training. And when it comes to burning fat while building muscle, it delivers results that most people do not expect. The concept is straightforward. You pick up a weight in each hand and simply walk. But what happens in the body during that time is a cascade of simultaneous effort. The forearms and hands work in constant grip strength. The shoulders, traps, and spinal erectors work to maintain an upright posture against the load. The legs and glutes carry the body with added weight, and the entire core contracts continuously to stabilize the spine during the movement. The metabolic demand from all of this is brutal, especially because it is sustained over time. A strength exercise lasting 40 to 60 seconds nonstop overloads both the muscular and cardiovascular systems. It is the best of both worlds. There is also a functional benefit that few people mention. The grip strength developed in the Farmer's Carry is associated with lower risk of cardiovascular disease and greater longevity. Researchers have found that hand strength is one of the most reliable predictors of overall health throughout life. In other words, this seemingly simple exercise is building far more than what you see in the mirror. To execute correctly, hold the weights at your sides with a firm grip. Keep your shoulders slightly back and down, never shrugged. Your spine should be straight, your gaze directed forward. Take short, controlled steps. Maintaining a steady pace, breathe normally throughout. The most common mistake is holding the weights with tense arms or shrugged shoulders. This overloads the neck and reduces the efficiency of the exercise. The shoulders should be relaxed in the correct position, with the arms nearly passive at your sides. For those just starting out, use a weight you can carry for 20 to 30 yards without losing your posture. Progress by increasing the distance to 40 to 50 yards or by adding small increments of weight each week. Contraindications. People with a herniated disc or a history of back injuries should avoid heavier loads without prior medical evaluation. Those with high blood pressure should also be cautious, as the exercise raises blood pressure during execution. Exercise number 4, jump rope. Jump rope has that reputation as a kid's exercise. And because of that reputation, full-grown adults set aside one of the most complete exercises on the planet. Professional boxers jump rope every day. Elite athletes use it as a warm-up. And from a metabolic standpoint, 10 minutes of jump rope can match the caloric expenditure of 30 minutes of running at a moderate pace. That is no small thing. What makes jump rope so effective is the frequency of impacts combined with the coordination it demands. With every rotation, the body must generate enough force to leave the ground, absorb the impact on the way back down, and maintain the rhythm. This activates the calves, hamstrings, glutes, core, and shoulders all at once. On top of that, the coordination between the upper and lower body, it increases the neurological demand of the exercise, which drives energy expenditure even higher. It is worth noting that the calf is considered the second heart of the human body. It pumps blood back up to the heart against gravity, and jump rope is one of the best stimuli you can give that muscle group. To execute with quality, keep your elbows close to your body and generate the rope's rotation, mainly with your wrists, not your entire arms. Jumps should be low, about 1 inch off the ground. Always land on the balls of your feet, absorbing the impact smoothly. Back straight, eyes forward. A very common mistake is jumping too high. This wastes unnecessary energy and increases impact on the joints. The goal is efficiency, not height. For beginners, alternate 30 seconds of jumping with 30 seconds of rest for 4 to 5 rounds. Progress by increasing the work period to 45 and then 60 seconds, gradually reducing the rest. Contraindications. People with knee or ankle problems should pay attention to the impact. Using a cushioned surface and reducing the initial intensity are measures that help a great deal with adaptation. Exercise number 5, battle ropes. If you have ever seen those thick, heavy ropes being shaken frantically in a functional training gym, you probably felt just from watching that it looked brutal. And it is. Battle ropes are one of the exercises that raise heart rate the fastest in a short period of time, and the research on them is quite consistent on this point. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research showed that 20 minutes of battle rope training can raise heart rate to levels comparable to conventional high-intensity exercise, with the added advantage of not impacting the joints of the lower body. This makes it an excellent option for those who want to maintain intensity, even with knee or ankle limitations. The basic movement is the alternating wave. Hold one end of the rope in each hand, knees slightly bent, torso slightly leaning forward, core braced. Move your arms alternately up and down at a steady pace, creating waves that travel along the entire length of the rope. The shoulders work in strength and endurance simultaneously. The core stabilizes the torso against the asymmetrical movement. The lower body maintains a stable base, and the cardiovascular system responds with intensity from the very first seconds of execution. It is this entire combination that makes battle ropes such a powerful fat-burning tool. They leave no part of the body resting. To execute correctly, avoid holding your breath. This is the most common mistake and also the one that most compromises performance. Breathe rhythmically throughout the entire movement. Keep your knees bent and do not lock your elbows. For beginners, perform sets of 20 to 30 seconds with 40 to 60 seconds of rest. As your conditioning improves, increase to 45 seconds of work and reduce rest to 30 seconds. 3 to 4 sets already produce an intense enough stimulus. Contraindications. People with shoulder injuries should take special care and prefer the bilateral movement, where both arms rise and fall together, which reduces the rotational load on the joint. Before we continue, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Having constant access to science-based information is what will help you make long-term progress safely in the world of exercise. Exercise number 6, rucking. This is the most underrated one on the list, without a doubt. Rucking is nothing more than walking with a loaded backpack on your back. It sounds too simple to deserve attention, but it is exactly that simplicity that makes it so effective and so sustainable over time. Rucking was popularized by American military training, where soldiers cover long distances carrying heavy equipment. In recent years, this practice has moved into the civilian world and become a phenomenon among people seeking low-impact exercise with high metabolic demand. And what surprises most people who start is that, unlike other intense exercises, rucking is genuinely enjoyable. You can listen to a podcast, talk with someone, explore a park. This makes it much easier to stay consistent over the long term, and consistency is what truly moves the needle when it comes to fat loss. And do you know what sets rucking apart from a regular walk? The load. With weight on your back, your body needs more energy to cover the same distance. This means more calories burned without increasing joint impact. Studies show that walking with a backpack loaded with 22 to 44 pounds can increase caloric expenditure by up to 50% compared to walking without a load. For someone who already walks regularly, that is an enormous transformation without changing anything about their lifestyle, just adding a backpack. To get started, use a backpack loaded with about 5 to 10% of your body weight. If you weigh 175 pounds, start with 9 to 17 pounds in the pack. Distribute the weight evenly and maintain an upright posture throughout the walk. Shoulders back, head up, steady steps. The most common mistake is overloading the backpack right from the start. This compromises posture, strains the lower back, and turns an enjoyable activity into something painful. Start light and progress over the weeks. A practical recommendation: start with 20 to 30 minutes, 2 to 3 times per week, and gradually increase either the time or the weight, never both at the same time. Contraindications: people with cervical or lower back problems should consult a professional before starting. The load on the back can worsen pre-existing conditions if not properly managed. Now that you have seen the 6 main exercises, there is one more that deserved a spot on this list. It was left out not because it is worse than the others. It was left out because it is so complete, so brutal, and so universally hated at the same time that it deserves its own space. Here is the bonus. Bonus exercise: burpees. There is no exercise more simultaneously loved and hated than the burpee. Mention the name in any gym and you will see at least one grimace. But behind that collective hatred is an exercise that may be the most efficient one in existence for burning fat, building conditioning, and recruiting the greatest number of muscle groups possible in a single movement. The burpee is a compound sequence. You start standing, bring your hands to the floor, kick your feet back into a plank position, perform a push-up, bring your feet back toward your hands, and explosively jump with your arms overhead. That is one burpee. And in a matter of seconds, you have worked the upper body, lower body, core, cardiovascular system, and motor coordination all at once. The epoch effect generated by burpees is one of the largest documented among bodyweight exercises. The body takes hours to return to its resting metabolic state after an intense burpee session. This means continued fat burning long after the workout is over. To execute with quality, control the descent to the floor rather than dropping your body abruptly. The push-up should be complete with your chest touching the ground. The final jump should be high, with your arms projected overhead. Keep your core braced throughout the entire sequence. One mistake I see many people make is performing burpees in a rushed and uncontrolled manner, turning the exercise into a series of muscular compensations. This reduces efficiency and increases the risk of injury to the shoulder and wrist. Less speed with more quality produces far better results. For beginners, perform 4 to 6 repetitions per set with a generous rest of 60 to 90 seconds between them. The initial goal is not speed, it is learning the movement pattern. Over time, increase to 8 to 10 repetitions and reduce rest to 45 seconds. An accessible variation for beginners is the burpee without the jump and without the push-up. You perform the full movement pattern, but you do not jump at the end and you do not do the push-up in the middle. This preserves the motor pattern without overloading those who are still adapting. Contraindications. People with uncontrolled high blood pressure, shoulder problems, or wrist issues should avoid the conventional burpee and opt for the modified version until they receive a medical evaluation. Those with dizziness or a history of fainting during intense exercise should also take extra precaution. If you enjoyed this and want to discover the only 10 things that truly work for losing fat after 40, we have a video appearing on screen right now showing each one of them in detail. Make sure to check it out and also look into our biological shielding protocol. Thank you for watching all the way through, and may God bless you, my friend.